The first of the Bloodborne board games is the primary box. It is quite thick and shows some summary information on the sides. And rear of the box. It shows which miniatures will be contained within, along with what some of the cards look like. The components over here list 37 miniatures, 4 counter bases, 1 hunt board, 20 map tiles, 4 hunter dashboards, 4 trick weapon dashboards, 11 firearm cards, 108 stat cards, 61 consumable and reward cards, 75 enemy and boss cards, 250 campaign cards, 4 player aid cards, 109 tokens, and 1 rulebook. Let's take a look inside. We're greeted with an advertisement for more command content. The rulebook is then on top. Going into the campaigns, the setups, advancing through the hunt, winning and losing conditions, rules on playing the game, consumables, rewards, and firearms, how to resolve combat and starting a new round, the specifics of combat and blood echoes, going over boss enemies and NPC enemies, the hunter's dream, some additional rules, advancing the hunt, and progressing the campaign, and saving progress. It wraps with a glossary and credits. Next up appears to be the tokens. They are not punched out yet. They do have a rear. They're bubbled on top and flat on the bottom. Next up are the punch-out cards. They all have the same back. More room cards. They fall out quite easily. This appears to be the board map, where you would stack your combat items. There's another box inside the box, presumably to protect the miniatures. In the bottom is a plastic tray for holding your various tokens and cards. There's nothing underneath it. Player aid cards. Campaign cards. The Long Hunt campaign cards. Growing Madness campaign cards. Enemy action cards. Player action cards. Items, and I believe runes. Some more player action cards. And consumable item cards. These appear to be weapon and boss cards. And another deck of campaign cards. These would be character boards, similar to the previous board we looked at. It's interesting they have the same hunter on both sides. Finally, we have some dashboards. Let's take a look at the miniatures. We have a top tray and a bottom tray. They're each labeled with a code. BB020, BB001, BB015. Let's start with the top tray. There's some recesses and indents in this plastic. Perhaps for assembly, perhaps for holding, who knows. These would be the player colors to hold your hunters. This would be, hey Lucy, the hunter's axe hunter. This looks like one of the beasts you hunt. There are 3 more of that same style. Next up is a hunter with Ludwig's Holy Blade. And the extended hunter's axe. They feel sturdy enough, but still bendable. This is a werewolf. It doesn't quite appear to be Father Gascoigne, but rather just a turned human. And then these are some of the cloaked monsters that you see in the game. If you look under, the head is not actually developed, just the cloak. There are 3 more of those. Finally, we have 2 more hunters. This one with the cannon and the threaded cane. and this one with one of the pistols and the saw cleaver. Let's examine the second layer. One of the werewolves you see right away that kills you and sends you to the hunter's dream. There are 3 more of those. These guys with their staves and lanterns that when you get enough insight shoot magical or eldritch balls of energy at you. There are 4 in total of those. Brick trolls. This guy looks really nice. Four of those. Humans, not quite turned, but gathered in groups for the hunt. This one's one of my favorites, looking at it. The detail is quite nice. This is the blood-starved beast. He looks great as well. Who could forget that iconic encounter in the chapel? The cleric beast, the first boss most fight. He looks great. Look at all of the detail. Finally, we have 4 church giants with their axes and bells around their necks. And that was the basic box. Check out the next video where we'll be going into the Forbidden Woods.